Yes, happy Friday. Today it is a day for a Socratic discussion. We're going to engage your brains a bit, but I am going to talk to you about the 19 questions to ask leadership. We're going to talk about business in a way that I feel like business is not currently being talked about. We're going to jump into thinking about switching brokerages or teams. These are 19 questions that you should ask leadership. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to get into that taboo stuff that nobody wants to talk about. This is a blog that I wrote for LabCoat, and it is the business. I'm telling you, this is a fantastic blog because I put the whole system on blast. I call it out for what it is, and it is predatory. It is self-serving. And it has frustrated a lot of people. There are a lot of people that talk to me pretty regularly about, hey, listen, I'm thinking about switching. I'm not sure that I want to do this or that. I'm not sure that I want what the next move for me is in my career, but this is what I'm thinking about. And I am constantly at a loss for time because we are only gifted so much of it with on this earth. And so we're going to address this very honestly in a way that's going to make you question your leadership because honestly, when you are working with a team, it should be a partnership. It should be a collaboration. If it is not a collaboration, if it is not a partnership, if you don't have opportunities to outgrow your master, right? And I'm talking master as in learning from, not master as in whipping, right? And that's too often what we think about when it comes to real estate. We are often managed. We are often held down. And unfortunately, we're not considered when we're added to teams. I've had a lot of people tell me things were not the same when I left your team. I thought it would be similar everywhere, et cetera, and so forth. And it takes a lot of courage to switch brokerages. It takes a lot of courage to step out and consider something different. And I'm telling you, whether or not you are on my team, whether or not you are at a different brokerage, it doesn't matter. Something that I learned from a business mentor of mine, Scott Meeker, he told me, take the interview. Take the interview. He said, about every 6 months or so, I'll take an interview. And about every year, maybe I'll take 3. And if you're going to take 1 interview, why not take 2 more, right? And so it's important to consider yourself when you're making these movements. It's important to consider yourself and your family and your path when it comes to stepping out. And so I wanted to go and encourage you to consider yourself. Right now, we just had a big, not a hiring event, but really an expansion of a partnership because all of the people in this picture are partners or they are working towards a partnership on the Serpa team. And I feel really honored to be a part of this journey. In fact, one of them right now, that handsome guy in the front with his leg up on the table, he's watching right now. Good morning, Trevor. He is a partner on the Serpa team. I'm glad that you're watching. Looking good. Thank you, Tom. So we've got a great crew of people around us, and I learn from all of them. And what we have done, because in the state of California, you can legally pay people who are unlicensed professionals who are pursuing a career in real estate. And so we partnered with a young solar group. And hey, this is a fantastic partnership because we are helping people get paid sooner rather than later through our partnership, people who need money now, and then working towards a longer term partnership with this real estate transaction to build generational wealth, generational knowledge, right? Building ownership in not only this team, but EXP in general. And so we have some really fantastic people in here, like the hat, Dave. Thank you, April. I appreciate that. I'm trying to look fancy these days, right? Really spicing it up a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. I appreciate it. So this is my crew. These are my partners. My wife and I are towards the back and to the side. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the psychology of real estate as we're going through this course and the 19 questions that you should ask leadership if you're considering leaving. And ask your current brokerage. Ask your current team what the opportunities are. And if there are not opportunities, ask somewhere else too. And even if there are opportunities, it's good to know what's out there because it puts you in a powerful situation because knowledge is power, right? And if you are going to be put in a powerful situation, here's one of the things to look at when it comes to you guys are hilarious. Am I getting roasted here in the comments with the hat? It's a bougie hat. I know it. But tell me that this doesn't look handsome. Tell me that I'm not looking good today. Okay, so our partnership, it doesn't revolve around me. That's the point in giving ownership. It doesn't revolve around David Serpa. This is the Serpa team, and I can tell you I'm about 3 rows back. Kate is about 3 rows back. Front and center is the future of this team. There are people that are foundational to it. Christian Tikis, a broker, my partner, the guy who handles all of our commercial deals. He is in the gray jacket there, and he is a rock star in his own accord. I was humbled when he showed up for the interview. Rosemarie Greven. She is a force to be reckoned with. I was encouraging her to start her own team, and I am elated that she decided instead to partner with me. We see opportunity in growing together. Jenny May, she is an owner and operator in Crunch Fitness, and she is working with us. And so I feel very humbled by the people in the room. I could go off and on about everybody. Lika Palmer, the man right there in the middle. Amy Serpa, my sister right here getting ready to go door knocking, who's here every day. Alexa Gossip, Starina Cardenas, JP Wright. All of the people that are in this picture are important to me because they are partners or they are working towards partnership. So you could tell that in this brand, I am not front and center. So that's something that people like to do when they're building a team. They often like to be the person in the middle of the photo. Instead of thinking about a real estate tribe as a group that you're going to hunt with, they think of a real estate team as somebody that's going to go out and work for them while they sit back and, do little, do less, do nothing, right? So if you're looking at starting a real estate team because you've got an eye on the door, that's not the way to go about it, brah. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump into this right now, and I'm going to talk to you about the 19 questions that you should ask leadership when going about a switch. And of course, this full article is available on LabCoat. If you wanted to check it out, we'll go ahead and we'll link that here in the comments. And we'll jump in right here. All right. I'm going to have to write enough for 19 questions on this board. We're going to have to keep it small. Okay, and I'm not going to elaborate too heavily on, well, I am probably going to elaborate too heavily on everything. All right, let's be realistic, Serpa. Okay, it's time to learn. You guys excited? Okay, here we go. Let's rock and roll. As much as I love you guys in the comments, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lock into teaching right now. So these are the 19 questions to ask. As I said, take the interview. Take one every 6 months. Take 3. Look for clarity. This is what we're going to ask first. We're going to ask part of what's important, but not the most important thing, is splits. Okay, I can already tell I'm getting a little bit off right there. So what does the split start? Okay, and of course, what's more important than a split is the GCI, right? So what are the opportunities for how much money you'll make? And there's, you know what, I'm actually going to just go ahead and level this out a little bit. One is you're going to ask about splits. You're going to consider the GCI is probably the most important thing. And I literally just did the exact same thing. What a bum. All right, Serpa, make it level. Here we go. I think that is level. That is not level. I'm clearly not the perfect artist here. Is that level? That isn't level.
That's definitely not level. There you go.
I feel like I just like need a level.
A ruler.
Dun 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 dun. Can Serpa ride a straight line? All right. This is like elite sports right here. And that's the best that I'm going to freaking do. That's awful. Okay. Where is it's because everything's mirrored.
The screen angle is weird.
Yep. That's what we're going to do right there. This is ridiculous. Okay, there it is. All right. Now we've got it. Now it will feel less weird. Okay, 19 questions to ask. I'm so surprised anyone is stuck on splits. So you're going to ask about your split, but also more important than your split, look at your GCI. How much are people making when it comes to, I'm so beyond desk fees, homie. I appreciate the input though. Let's think, anyway, desk fees are important, yes, and all of that stuff, but like, let's really think big picture. So GCI, what is your income, right? Not where is the floor, where is the ceiling? Are you going to hold me back? Can I outgrow you, right? That's something that I'm extraordinarily passionate about. And in fact, when people get too caught up on the floor, right? How much does it cost to sign up? I'm not necessarily sure that I'm like, listen, ownership isn't free. And in fact, ownership is expensive. And if you want to invest in your business, invest in ownership. If you don't, I'm not necessarily sure that there's a conversation that we should be entertaining. Maybe go work somewhere at a flat fee company, right? So like the truth is when you are constantly preaching ownership as a real estate agent, you should not be owned. If you're going to preach ownership as a real estate agent, you should have ownership in your business, right? Right? Or at least have opportunity to work towards ownership. So let's think about what we're looking towards a ceiling, right? The second is, what kind of training do you offer? Or mentorship, right? Training or mentorship. Because some people will sort of put you in a situation where they're going to constantly be standing over your shoulder, lurking. Other people are going to give you opportunities to fail. Some people want you to jump in and contribute, right? But you want to go in there with your eyes open and say, what sort of training and mentorship is available to me as a new agent, as somebody who's looking to, step into something a little bit more in my career, et cetera, and so forth. Wherever it is, you need to be clear with what you want so that you know where you're going. Now, the big one for me is a lot of people have started using collaboration as a buzzword in this industry. They don't necessarily know what collaboration means. And so they say, collaboration. Collaboration is something that has always been important to me. It's not necessarily important to other people. They don't understand the fucking meaning of collaboration. So does the team do anything collaborative? Do we do anything collaborative? I find that people, especially people that gravitate towards teams, want to work in a collaborative atmosphere. They want to hunt together. They see the benefit. If they're going to cut up their commission a little bit, if they're going to hunt together a little bit, then they want to know that they're going to be fostered for success, not just cut out on their own completely. Now, other people don't want to be hovered over, but they don't know what they don't know, right? So either way, it's an opportunity for mentorship and a great place to start the conversation. What do we do collaboratively? Like, this is one of the big reasons why I'm not necessarily a fan of expansion teams. Most expansion teams have a really good hub, I guess, a really good hub. Whereas if you really have a good hub and you have a 90% market share, are you worried about an expansion, right? Aren't you making enough money in your own market to where you don't try, oh, you know where else is a booming market is Boise, Idaho, and if I could get my hands in that pocket and everyone's pockets out there. Listen, worry about your own market. Serve people. If your systems are so rock solid that you're then ready to expand into additional partnerships, then take a look at what that looks like. But I think that the traditional expansion team model is dying, in my opinion. And in fact, that's why the Serpa team doesn't hire outside of French Valley. It's nothing offensive to anybody, but that's where we're rocking and rolling. That if you're going to be a king, if you're going to be a queen, you have to develop a kingdom. And if you're going to be a king, you have to be willing to create other kings and other queens if you're going to build your kingdom, right? And if you're going to create, if you're going to wage war, you start off with a fire team, and then you build a squad, and then you build a company, and then you build a regiment, right? So at the end of the day, building collaboratively means that you're going to work together. So how often do you work together? And this can be in either squads, fire team elements, or companies. How often do we work together? Okay. Now here's another one, and this is important for some people. Do you play together? Now for me, part of my play is service. It's how we work. It's the culture that in which so if you haven't read my book or if you haven't heard of it, I talk about the concept as work as play. If you can't have fun while you're doing what you're doing, why do it, right? And that includes cleaning up after the homeless. That includes, whatever it is that you're doing, you shouldn't, waging war. Whatever it is that you're doing, do you play? Okay? And do you play together? Okay. And I bet you'll get some interesting, oh yeah, we all get drunk. Okay, well, geez, I'm 36 years old. I've developed a little bit past that point of just wanting to fucking drink my ass off and then barf in public, okay? So what else do you guys do together? What sort of an environment is this are we gonna collaborate into? So be clear with what you want. And be clear with where you're going. Be clear with who you are when you're going out and stepping out into these interviews. Otherwise, you could be sold anything. You could be sold anything, right? Okay, now here's another one that is important to ask because this is going to be frustrating for some people. Do you pray together? I do not pray as an office. I feel like there are people who want to pray, and I support them in their right to pray. I don't pray as an office. For me, when we are moving, when we are working in service, when we are serving humanity and one another, that's prayer. Wherever two or more gathered in my name, there I am. Haven't we overcomplicated it, right? And so bowing our heads in prayer while we're ripping people off doesn't mean anything. Okay, so anyway, so for some people, they don't want to necessarily be in an environment of prayer because sometimes that feels like creates a culture of hypocrisy. Other people really love it, right? I love people who pray. I love people in my office. I love to listen to them pray when I know that they're the people that do work. I don't love religious theater. Does that work? And I'm telling you, this isn't a safe space. Leave that crap at the door. I just lost about 3 people. This isn't a safe space. You've entered a reality check, right? We talk honestly and openly. This is the dojo. And the dojo is a place of enlightenment. And if you're questing for enlightenment, you're willing to analyze things honestly and have open conversations, right? And that's what I want to do at the end of the day. I want to work. I want to do the work. How do you feel about niche marketing? And it's okay. Niche marketing. Do you do any niche marketing? What is your niche? I can tell you, the riches are in the niches, right? So whether your niche is community, French Valley, whether your niche is veterans, whether your niche is the senior community, whether your niche is Hispanic, the Hispanic community, whatever your niche is, that is, it's good. Serve it. Serve your niche. For me, I don't really like to divide, which is why I really like just community. Everybody around me is my niche. They're in my immediate reach. That's my family. That's my tribe. Why should I exclude anybody, right? So niche marketing. What is your niche? Who are you serving? And not who are you targeting? People will show their ass to you if you give them enough time to show it, right? Ask them questions. How do you feel about niche marketing? Well, what we really like to do, says the non-veteran, is target veterans. Okay, Well, then, I listen to people and I listen to the words that they use because words are important. So understand when you're interviewing a brokerage, everyone goes in like, oh, I better put on my best face because I'm being interviewed. You are also interviewing them. That's incredibly important for you to understand. If you are going to be giving up a portion of your commission, that means you're giving up a portion of your life. It better be worth the value. Right? Better be worth the value. Okay. Do you provide leads? And in my article online, it says, these usually suck. How's that for truth? Do you provide leads? Okay. Most of these leads suck, like I said. And the reason why these suck is because you don't want more leads. You want more conversations. Am I right? These suck. Boom. Said it. Less leads, more conversations. That's what I've always been big about. How can you create conversations that foster an element of success, right? And in fact, I probably could have just continued to write that over there, huh? Less leads, more conversations. Create an opportunity for people to talk, right? That's what we're doing with our community in a lot of ways. Hey, have you heard about our, we have Mark Christopher Lawrence coming to our community. Did you hear that, Amy?
No.
Mark Christopher Lawrence is going to be in our community a week from today. And if you don't know who Mark Christopher Lawrence is, he's a lot funnier than I am. He's done a lot of, veteran causes, and he is an all-around, he's hilarious. My wife literally said to me this morning, like, you guys are going to have Mark Christopher Lawrence at our community? I was like, yes, we are. And I'm all acting like, yeah, of course we're going to have Mark Christopher Lawrence. And I was like, when I found out, because I found out by looking at the flyer, I was like, holy crap. So wouldn't it be a great opportunity for you to be like, hey, listen, I've got 4 free tickets for Mark Christopher Lawrence. You buy them. It's $80. Enter into a raffle. Come see Mark Christopher Lawrence at our community comedy club this Friday, April 16th. Right? And in fact, Amy, let's just do it. I keep talking about it.
I was going to say, I'm just writing that down right now.
Okay.
Do it.
There you go. Let's raffle off like 6 tickets or something like that. So there you go. Less leads, more conversations. And then do you know what will happen? 6 people go. They'll have a great freaking time. They'll have an awesome time. And then 10 more people will buy tickets.
Yep.
And then we'll end up selling out the show for the 3rd time in a row. And we'll get more conversations. And those become leads if you're doing it right. Okay? All right. Here we go. Moving on. Okay. I was like, I'm not going to talk too much about each one of these things, but I'm absolutely going to talk. It's David Serpa. I have no filter. Do you provide free paper? Do you provide free printing? I hate these questions. And I love them because it shows me where people are intellectually, and I get to kind of show them and foster them a way to think about, hey, listen, you're stepping into ownership. You're stepping into business. Are those free business cards? Are they free? Are those free, printing? Is any of that stuff really free? So I would really encourage you to think about your business instead of, am I walking into an ownership opportunity or am I walking into an owned opportunity? Am I being branded or am I branding? Okay, these are some of the intellectual ways to think about your business that we try to foster on Fridays. And we normally do a Socratic discussion, but I have a lot that I need to talk to you guys about because this is an important article and I don't want to leave it for homework. Free paper. Free paper. Free. Do you know how much free paper cost me, Amy? At my first brokerage? It cost me about $32,000. Okay, it cost me $32,000 in like 1 month. And I was like, whoa, I'm at a 60-40 split, plus there's an 8% franchise fee? How come nobody told me about the franchise fee? Tell you what, that's a lot of money. And then I started looking at it. I was like, what am I paying you for? Free paper, free printing. I'm like, justify your paycheck. Nobody thinks about business like that. Maybe it's because I'm autistic that I'm such a gift to all of you. But you know, I'm what they call an iconoclast. I don't have respect for authority naturally, just because it's authority. I don't have respect for seniority just because it's seniority. I question systems. I want to improve them. So question your free paper, question your free printing, and question your free cards, because that is not ownership. That is being owned. Look at the difference between people who brand their teams and brand themselves. Look at me versus look at us. How do I help my team? By branding them, by helping them. Those are the soldiers. Those are the warriors. Those are the, and if I'm not leading from the front, who the hell am I anyway, right? Okay, number 10. Happy freaking Friday, everybody. We're getting after it today. 10, what are the opportunities for me to increase my split, and how quickly can I exceed that? Bam, that's ownership. Question 10, I love it. Question 10 is, how do I increase split opportunities, ownership? Okay. Ownership. Okay. That's a big one. So, Amy, would you mind tossing me a water when you get a chance? Thank you, homie. I really appreciate it. Okay. So when you look at increasing your split, it's like, okay, so like, for example, if you join EXP and you're a regular agent, you started at 60-40 for your first 6 transactions. If you have not closed more than a certain number of transactions, I think it's like 6 or something like that. But if you're joining a team, you get an opportunity to have that mentorship built into the team, so that you're not necessarily in a situation to where your split is affected. And in fact, teams have half caps. So versus a $16,000 cap as an individual agent, you have an $8,000 cap as an agent on a team. Now, once you have capped, once you have paid your portion to EXP, your $8,000, you're now at 100% as an individual agent, and that's tracked within the systems at EXP. And in addition, you have opportunity for stock and all of that stuff. So do you have an opportunity to increase your split? People told me, you'll never get 90%, in your first year. They laughed at me. I had 90% in my first year. It just took me 3 brokerages to get there. People told me, you'll never make money in your first year. I made $126,000 in my first year. In addition, I hired 6 people in my second year, that went on to make $100,000 themselves in a year. So tell me how bad I am at leadership. I'll stand by, because I understand that leadership is an opportunity to create other leaders. A friend of mine, Zachary Pitts, who is our home inspector with the Better Home Inspection, sent me a quote through Facebook. He might have even texted it to me, but it's a quote from my book about leadership. I love being led. If you walk into a room and you're the smartest person in the room, in all capacities, you're ignorant. Okay? People are like, level up your peer group and you'll level up, blah, blah. I'm like, no, start looking at other people around you like they're your equals, and then you'll level up your thought process to stop thinking that you need to level up your peer group. What a detestable thought. What a detestable thought. Instead of leveling up your peer group, level up with your peers. Right? Okay. What is your opportunity to increase split opportunities? Is there opportunities for me to increase ownership in my own business? Do I have an opportunity to outgrow you? Yes, right? Okay, so ownership, right? That's the big thing that we continue to talk about. Here's the next one, and it's number 11. Can I bring my kids to work? This is an important one, and you really need to talk about it. Can I bring my kids? Okay, now, This is something that we have never done other than like events and things like that in the past. Now we're trying to squeeze them in where we can, but eventually we want to get to a point where this office during work hours is not a place where there are really any kids. And in fact, the kids, when they do come in here, it's not a place for them to run around and whatnot. We're keeping it relatively tame. That being said, we understand that we have an atmosphere where people, might take their kids out door knocking, and they're coming in to bring, grab flyers and get some coaching and whatnot. So do what you can when you can, honor the people around you, et cetera, and so forth. Number 12, is there a dress code? Gosh, this black pen is suddenly stopped. Darn it. The black pen is destroyed. All right, got it. 12. Dress code. Now, I strongly advise dressing professionally, because then your clients will expect that you're professional, right? And for some people, that's a little bit different than others, right? So until you get the credibility of having some gravitas behind your belt, maybe you're wearing a tie. Maybe you're wearing, you're dressing professionally. But the thing is, if you walk in looking like a slob and acting like a slob, you're going to get paid like a slob. That's the truth. Not a lot of people are going to want to tell you that. If you will get paid the way that you believe that you should be paid. What are you worth hourly? That's something I talk to people about constantly. What would you pay yourself? People often start off with really elaborate numbers. Oh, I pay myself $2,500 an hour. Really, you would? Or do you have $2,500 an hour habits? Because I could tell you, if you as a business owner paid yourself $2,500 an hour, you'd be bankrupt today, because you don't have $2,500 in the bank. But at the end of the day, we have to start really breaking it down. Even if you had $20,000 in the bank, are you generating enough revenue to justify that sort of an investment? If you as a business owner were going to invest in you, how much money do you know that you would generate in the next 30 days, right? And then I'm not telling you to question yourself, but break it down Barney style so that you understand what it is that you're doing, right? You cannot effectively fish until you fish. You can't effectively freaking learn how to fish until you've surrounded yourself with other people who've fished before and are currently fishing, not someone who has fished 20 years ago. And I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, but there are people who are that are in their golden years who are outselling me. But there are others who haven't sold a house in 20 years, and they're trying to manage other people, and I have sympathy for them. But the thing is the real estate world has developed so quickly and so in such a crucial time that you're either going to eat or you're going to be eaten. And it's time to really jump in. It's time to knuckle up, and it's time to get in the fight. Okay, what are the weekly and monthly requirements? Now, this is going to be a deal breaker for some. Some people are not going to be ready to invest in their business. They're not going to be ready to step into that. Other people just are in a different place in their lives. I like to honor everybody. So I tell people, well, how much money do you want to make? And if they tell me, well, I want to make $60,000 this year, I'm going to say, okay, well, logically, this is what you need to do to get there. But if somebody comes in and they're like, oh, I want to make $100,000 this year, I'm like, okay, let's break it down. How do we logically get there? Because I'm all about the numbers, but then I'm all about mass action to achieve them, right? So if it is truly your goal and it's important to get there quickly, what do you need to do? If you have the luxury of being able to get there in balance, you have some funds, good for you, right? Okay, what are the weekly, monthly requirements? Well, that depends on your goal. That would be my answer. Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do, boo-boo? And if you're not in a situation to where you're ready to invest time and energy, people are like, hey, listen, I'm not really ready to run at 100 miles an hour. I'm not ready to jump in yet. Hey, listen, I'm not asking you to ever run at 100 miles an hour. What do you want? I'm not here to push you into being anything other than what you want to be. Okay? All right. Fantastic. Okay. Here we go. What's next? Number 14. What is one free action item that you can give me? I love this question. Who wrote this article, David? Oh, I did. It's a great freaking article. Thank you so much. I've had a lot of really great people around me. I've learned a lot of great things from them. What is one free action item you can give me? I love this because it will let you know right away whether or not you're talking to a scarcity mindset person or whether you're talking to a person that thinks in abundance, right? What's one free action item that you could give me right now? And it will also let you know where their brain is and how how developed they are as a leader. Because some people don't know what they don't know. Everybody doesn't know what they don't know. But some people, the second that you ask them, what is one free action item that you'd be willing to give me, even if I don't join your team, even if I don't join your brokerage? Oh, well, I'll tell you what, if you sit down with me, I've got a million ideas in my head. And in fact, while we're talking, I'm going to be brainstorming about my ideas for you. And I know that when we brainstorm, we're going to create new opportunities that would otherwise not be available to me, right? So when I talk to people in my market, if they were to ask, what's one free action item that you could give me? I'll be like, I'll give you like 3 or 4, right? Information isn't scarce. You could find it on YouTube. Okay. Look them up. Do your homework. This isn't necessarily a question, but this is like, well, what kind of reach do they have? What are they doing? Right? A lot of people say that they're doing a lot of things that they're not doing. Look them up. Do homework. I like when people come in and they're like, hey, listen, David, I went down a weird rabbit hole and I feel like I know you. And I'm like, fantastic. This is going to make this really easy, right? Because I am naturally in a position to where I really love to sit down and have honest conversations with people. I don't love small talk, right? And so by putting information out there, my vibe in the universe has aligned a tribe with me that is interested in progress and growth and doing the good work. And because at the end of the day, if you invest your time and your energy and your money and your mind towards good things, good things are going to come. Okay, so look them up, do your homework. There's a lot of weird rabbit holes you could go down when you look me up. I am an interesting cat. I've been a lot of places. I've said a lot of things, and I took none of them down. I'm like, hey, listen, I just want to be honest. I want to live in a place of truth because it's exhausting to live anywhere else. Okay, number 17. Oh, wait, did I skip number 16? I certainly did. Number 16. I'm so glad I didn't skip this. How can I help you? When people ask me that in the past, they get hired. Because I know that they are coming at it from a mindset of, if I can help, I will be helped. If I can give, they will give. And instead of, hey, do I get free paper and free business cards? And will I get free printing? And how many leads am I going to get? Okay, how much can you guarantee? Blah, blah, blah. I love when people come in and like, how can I help you? Or, hey, you know what? I was on your website and there's some things you could do better, right? Or, hey, listen, you aren't even on TikTok. You're missing out on money. Can I run your TikTok? Or, hey, whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, that's what this would look like for you to build ownership in this. That's such a great idea. I'm excited about that, right? So how can I help you? You want to get hired? Walk into it from a place of service when you are joining. And I can tell you, there are 2 types of people on this planet. And you could see them highlighted very clearly in both politics and in politics and in the military. People who want to be served and people who want to serve. So find out who people are around you that want to serve and who around you wants to be served. I can't necessarily help a bunch of people who want to be served. And I don't necessarily want to. I can help them for a little while to tweak their mindset to a place of service, but until they can do that, and in fact, I have conversations regularly with people while they will come to me and they'll say, well, do you do this and you do that? And I say, honestly, this isn't necessarily something that I'm interested in. I think that maybe it would be better for you to go join a flat fee company, or it'd be better for you to go join a different team because, I just don't think it's going to be a good fit. And I will tell them exactly why. because you're coming at it from a place of, what can I do from you? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? And when people are constantly asking, what can I do for you? There's only one of me. There's only one of me. But fortunately for me, I'm in a position where I'm surrounded by people who are giving. Look at all those people. Look at all those fantastic, wonderful human beings that are all ready to go at this from a place of service, that are in it to win it together, right? Because when we eat, we all eat. And isn't that great? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's keep going. How can I help you? That's a big one. Number 17, ask about the direction of the brokerage or the team. Where are you guys headed? Right? No plan is a plan. I love when you ask people these questions and they don't have an answer because they don't have a direction. They're blowing around in the wind. They're just blowing around in the wind. What is the direction of the team or brokerage, right? And also understand, like, prioritize your questions. You're going to get some of these asked probably during the interview process. You're probably going to get a lot of these asked before you even step in through the front door to have an interview. If you do a little bit of due diligence and you investigate, just as you would as a buyer's agent, like, do your due diligence on this team. One of the things that I really love to do, and I might even put this in here, reach out to their team members. Reach out to their past team members. Just ask, hey, what was it like working for Serpa? What was it like, what do you think about him? Is he a corrupt piece of crap, or, was he a pretty good dude? You know what I mean? And you'll get kind of a general baseline for what people say about people, right? Because people either put out a good vibe and they leave a good footprint, or they burn bridges. And some bridges have to be torched because they're not worth traveling back over, right? Some bridges deserve to be burned. And so there's two sides to every story too. So, right? So do your intel. And I can tell you, hey, listen, this is what I would do when I would go into brokerages. I would talk to people, and then I would say, hey, so I heard this, and this is what people are saying about you. What do you say? What is your response? And they'd be like, man, that is so refreshing that you just asked me instead of, whatever, right? Just be honest. Just like, you either get to have a spiritual relationship that operates out of truth and transparency with your team and shedding light on your shortcomings and the wonderful things that you bring to the world. Or you're going to have one based in denial, right? You know what? You're doing great. You're just the best all the time. Hey, listen, what's going on? I've noticed lately that you've been slipping. Are these still your goals? Is that what you're working towards? Okay, how can I help you? What's up? You know what I mean? Like, not just celebrating the great, but checking in on the people that need help too, right? That being said, not every horse can be led to water. And even if you lead a horse to water and you push the horse to water and you hold the horse's head underwater, they still might not drink, right? Okay, all right. 18, desk fees, monthly fees, and franchise fees. There you go. If you've stayed on this long, that's where we brought it up. Where are you? Who brought up desk fees? Was that April? Somebody brought up desk fees. Okay, April. All right. What are the desk fees, franchise fees, monthly fees, right? What color have we not used in a while? All right. Jeez. Desk fees, monthly fees, these fees, sea breeze, bees knees. Desk fees, monthly fees, franchise fees. There are no franchise fees at EXP. Blam. What is a desk fee? A desk fee is what people are charging you for coming in and working there. There are no desk fees at EXP. There are no desks. If you're on my team and you're coming into our community, there are no desk fees here either. Geez. Monthly fees, what are those? Tech fees, what is it, $85 a month, some crap? $85 a month. I'm telling you, I don't think about the floor. I think about the ceiling. Is there a ceiling? Okay, how quickly can we blow the roof off the ceiling? All right, last, thank them for their time, for the interview, and the process. Thank them. Say thank you. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. For their time, interview, and process. Oh, that's not a period. That's not a question mark, it's a period. Okay, so when you're getting ready to wrap up your interview, thank them. Just say, hey, listen, thank you. I really appreciate it. You don't have to send, a thank you card or a box of pizza or freaking whatever else it is that people send after interviews. Just say, hey, thank you. I genuinely appreciate your time, right? Even if they're like, even if they weren't very giving of their time, right? Because you gave your time, and you know what happened when you gave your time? You were able to shed light on the process, on who you are, on who they are, and whether you have decided to join them or not. Either one is okay. Either one is okay. Having the conversation is really what's important. Thank them for the interview and for the process. I can tell you that when I interviewed with a big brokerage, it's with the big brokerages, honestly, that I've learned the most about myself, if I'm being honest with you. The interview processes were so elaborate, so well thought out. The courtship was so interesting. One where I got flown out to Iowa and I got to see this whole facility and all these interesting, elements about this industry, and I learned and I learned and I learned. And then another one where, I learned about the company and they learned about me and I learned more about myself. When you engage in a hiring process, you should learn not just something about them, but something about yourself. Okay, cool. I think that's enough for today. Anybody have, what? I'll go through the comments really quick. Let's see. Oh, actually, we've got a lot of comments. Holy crap. More on the more on the hat. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just interviewed with Realty in Pine Bush, New York. Fantastic. Congratulations. That's part of this process is I want you to go out there. I want you to interview with people. Congratulations. I'm glad that you went out. You're looking outward. You're looking inward. Looking at opportunities. Tom, I want my license. Think about it, Tom. Is it for you? Is it something you want to do? Right? We've been talking about it. So are we going to take our first steps? Have we enrolled in the courses? At the end of the day, I'll tell you what, you could learn a lot about, life and real estate from taking this class and then apply it elsewhere too, right? So whatever it is that you're learning, when you're going out and you're, interviewing somewhere else, there's a lot of these questions that you can ask, right? If you're working in loans, if you're working, whatever it is, financial planning, okay, I want my license. Get after it. Do what you want to do, my brother. We've got some sort of a share there. Good morning, Sarah Jackson. Good morning, family. My interview was a 70-30 split. Price is an issue in the absence of value. So is the company worth 30%? Are they going to give you 30% worth of mentorship? Will you increase your wealth by giving them 30%? I can tell you there are people that work at 50-50 that make more than people who pay $400 a transaction. There are people who work, and so just, I wouldn't necessarily get too caught up on the split, but I'm glad that you asked. Also, just go ahead and ask about the franchise fee. I don't know if it's a franchise or not, but $100 a month for MLS. Oh, you know what? The MLS, we need to go to a national MLS. We need to get to a point to where people can search the MLS nationally. And right now, I think that, I'm looking at CAR and I'm looking at NAR, and I really want to see the value established on a national level for real estate agents, because right now, a lot of our money, a lot of our information specifically is being used to put a lot of us out of business or to sell the information. And I feel like if we're going to have a national MLS, if we're going to empower our real estate agents to generate leads for themselves, then we can't, we have to be more honest about, or we have to be more careful about who we're giving our information to. Or we have to be super liberal with it and cut it loose. One or the other, right? Okay. No desk fee, good for you. Good. Ha ha ha. Preach. Tim is a part of, is a partner here on the Serpa team. I appreciate you being here. Or Tim is working towards partnership on the Serpa team, working towards getting his license. Very proud of Tim. How can you not be owned if you are working for a brokerage? If you have ownership in the brokerage. So I can tell you, instead of paying, money towards a franchise fee or whatever, a split or whatnot for people that I'm not necessarily going to meet. My split, the people who brought me in, I know everyone who eats when I eat. I know everyone who eats. 2 of them have invested back in my business. I have stock that has far outperformed the amount that I paid towards the company. I have created ownership for myself by not recruiting, but attracting the kind of people that I want to work with. And my revenue share has outgrown the amount of money that I have spent towards my split. And so for me, it's been, I have ownership. And it's the reason why I switched brokerages 7 different times. I left real estate for 2 years, or for a year, I think. I joined EXP, and it's what I preach because I give people the opportunity to step into ownership on day one and then create their ownership within a business. It's something that is exciting for me that I get to do because I believe in it. And it makes it so that people that are part of the Serpa team, instead of being owned by the Serpa team and only being as good as their last transaction, if they're bringing people into the Serpa team, they're also expanding their own ownership at EXP. If they're recruiting nationally for EXP by, having some of these conversations gradually that are a byproduct of their success individually, then that's ownership. And it also creates ownership for me in different states. I talk a lot about French Valley, but I have ownership, and I have partnership all throughout this country, from Alaska to New Jersey, to Florida, Arizona, Beverly Hills. Lots of ownership in Beverly Hills, and that's not even a conversation that I necessarily had, but somebody that was a partner of mine had. Okay, someone is making a split off of you. Somebody is making a split with you. They're making a split with you, and they're a partner, or price is an issue in the absence of value. If they are training you, then I'll tell you what, they're making that split with you. They made it possible to help you increase that pie. And they might be a really great local brokerage, really great powerhouse local team. They might be able to give you, they might be a boutique that's really ready to give you that individual mentorship. You guys might have some really clear expectations, and I applaud you for going out there and interviewing, talking to people. It's exciting. You just entered the twilight zone. I'm not sure what the reference is. All right, here we go. I'm done. It's a good class. I think so. Those are the 19 things that you should consider here. And in fact, I should link that. In the comments here so that you guys can know where to find that blog. All right. I'm going to go and link the blog in the comments so that you guys know where to find it. All right. Oh, geez. You are a gift. Gosh, I didn't even see all these comments. You are a gift. Thank you, Tim. Very nice. Mic drop. Awesome. Sphere of influence. Absolutely increase that sphere of influence. That's your SOI is everything. It's not what you know, it's who you can influence and who influences you. I need to go back and write everything down. Feel free to watch it from the beginning. I'll stop this in a moment. That's a good manager, one who will give info. There's definitely a big difference between being managed and being led, right? And anybody in the military will definitely let you know that, and probably you will too. You just made more in 1 month. Congratulations on your first closing, Trevor. I'm proud of you, my brother. It's a huge deal. $7,000 in the bank. That's what's up. I hope that I can work with some good people like you guys. There are good people out there. We're just the best. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, there really are. You just got to find the good people in your area. No roof. Absolutely. Thank you, David. Today was fire. Absolutely. It would be a good idea. I'm going to start studying. Good for you. All right, guys, this information is gold. I interviewed with, let's see here. Guys, this information is gold. I interviewed with another big building brokerage before EXP, and if I would have had these questions, it would have been very helpful. Knowledge is power, right? Just ask the questions that, maybe you didn't know that you didn't know until you didn't realize you didn't know it, right? Thank you, John. I appreciate you, my brother. John is a partner of mine in North County. Feel free to reach out to John. John, I'm learning from John already. John's jumping into the tech side of EXP, something that I do not enjoy. I don't enjoy tech. I've never spent any time in the cloud. That's just the truth. And then this, of course, is the article that I want you guys to go read. All right, that's my time for the day. Geez, that was good stuff. Was that not good stuff? That was freaking awesome. I had a good time. I appreciate having this platform. People have reached out to me asking if I'm going to be doing this again. I am not going to be doing this again. I'm hoping other people are going to be doing this again and using this outline that is on the website to launch something like this in their own area. Cool. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. I'll stick around on Zoom to answer any questions that you might have.